A lot of things started in Stellenbosch.
Our own homegrown varietal. Pinotage is proudly Stellenbosch.
I think a lot of South African people made it under the table. There was a lot of influential British wine tasters, and they said Pinotage tastes like rusty nails, and they had a lot of swear words. It took a long time for Pinotage to really come to where it is today.
En dit was die begin van 'n groot Pinotage verhaal.
And the guy said, this is the red gold. This is a trump card of South Africa, and I knew. It's a long story, but let's go, we've got time. Die Stellenbosch as streek is uniek vir wynbou. En ek dink is basies die klimaat en die grond, die godgegewe goed van Stellenbosch. Ons kry die invloed van beide Atlantiese en Indiese Oseaan. Dis basies die klimaat en die grond wat uitstekend is vir wynbou. Dis hoekom Stellenbosch so uniek is.
Pinotage is proudly Stellenbosch. Everything is really speaks to that it belongs in Stellenbosch.
Pinotage is special. Pinotage have got balance. You get a sort of a certain flavor, like a sort of jammy flavor if it's on the verge to cut. Other varieties you can easily say, but it's more berry flavors and whatever. But Pinotage have got the same flavors as prunes. So it's got that purple, absolutely blackberry flavors. And if you get that in a Pinotage, it's usually a top-class Pinotage. This is a 2024 Pinotage. You can see the color. The color is like fairly dark and black. It already got that classic balance. It's lovely. Cheers to Pinotage. I am Beyer Strutter. I was born in Oudtshoorn, between the ostriches. And then my high school years in Cape Town, I loved the red wine all my life. I don't know, I haven't been a beer guy. Even from standard 6, I don't know, I started drinking red wine. I enjoyed it thoroughly. My mum weren't that great on the fact that I loved wine. And in my room, I had a few bottles of wine, always some red wines. And then I wanted to become a doctor, a medical doctor. But I went to army, and after army, I applied and I had to do BC. After 6 months, I said, there's much more to do, and I'll follow the route of my hobbies, viticulture. University was, it's the most lovely times that I had in my life. I mean, it's one of those times, there's niks probleme nie. Everything is just joy. There was lots of drinking places also, places where you can have a glass of Tassenberg and a beer after the rugby. And also, that old days was Tolly still. So I've been in wine since I started studying in 74. Making experimental wine, making small batches of wine, taking it back to the residents, and the guys will say, yeah, you're never going to become a winemaker. If we have to drink this stuff you make experimentally, you never will make it. Never. As a young winemaker, there was nothing that could stop me. I mean, I enjoyed every challenge you would throw before me. My love affair with Pinotage started in 1981. If we go back a bit in history, Abraham Isaac Perrault, Professor Perrault, crossed Pinotage in November 24. So he took the pollen of Pinot Noir and put it on the stem of Cinsault. And then he He closed it, and after the bunches were there, he would take the pits and he would plant it. And he got 4 seedlings to grow. En dis interessant, as hy seker goed nie gedoen het, hy sou daar nie vandag pinotage gewees het. We're actually standing on history because this is the nearest point to where the 4 seedlings were planted in Pierrold's vineyard. Toe Pierrold uit sy huis getrek het op Stellenbosch, toe die mense sy tuin skoongemaak en daai 4 saailinge was geplant in sy tuin. En Charlie Niehaus van KBV, 'n lektor, Dr. Charlie Niehaus het op sy fiets af verbygekom. Toe skryf hy mense, stop. Julle daar's 4 saailinge. En so daar's gebeurtelikheid wat gemaak het dat pinotage is. Maar Pierrold het die kruising gemaak. Pierrold was a great man. I read a lot of his papers. So because he was so brilliant, the Western Province government sent him overseas to get new varieties. When he left here, there was 20 varieties in the Cape. When he got back, there was 176. The next step is in 1941, a guy called C.T. de Waal made the first pinotage at Elsenburg. It was made in new oak barrels. And the first plantings is on Belleville and on Kanonkop. Rugby played a bit of a role. The story says that C.T. de Waal, Paul Sauer of Kanonkop, P.K. Morkel that played Springbok from Belleville, after they practiced, it seems they didn't drink a beer, they had a glass of wine, they had a glass of that new pinotage, and they all planted that on their farms. And in 59, P.K. Morkel won the Generaal Smuts Trophy, and also Kanonkop in 61. And the first labeled pinotage was a Lanzerac pinotage. It's fantastic to sit in the Lanzerac cellar. And if you think about Lanzerac, it's 2 things immediately that comes up. And it's pinotage and the first labeled bottle of pinotage. So it's really, I'm trembling in a certain sense if I touch this bottle, because this is a 59 Lanzerac pinotage of a vineyard that was planted in 53. This is where actually everything started. And it's very nostalgic, because if I have a look around it, especially this guy was not really my second in charge. He really learned me how to make wine. So, me and Frankie's been very near to each other. And then also all these guys, Jan Boland, Aubrey, me and Aubrey together have been on Kanonkop nearly 45 years. So it's a long time. So there's very fond memories back here. Lots of hard work, but it's been an excellent time.
I'm Johan Krieger from Kanonkop Wine Estate. We're now in one of our tasting rooms. And next to me, Beyers Pieter, great winemaker, but he's also a very naughty guy.
In the early 70s, there was a lot of influential writers and also British wine tasters that tasted pinotage, and they said pinotage tastes like rusty nails, and they had a lot of swear words. I don't even want to name them. And then I think a lot of South African people made it under the table. In those days, the flavors of pinotage was a bit different. I said this couldn't be pinotage, because if you take the raw pinotage, you get that absolutely black and blueberry flavors out of it. And I knew if I put it into new oak, it will be something very spectacular. Today we are at Beyerskloof. So Beyerskloof I started about in 1988. In the beginning when I started, I had 1.5 tank. That's the only thing I could afford. I experimented with oak up till 1989. And then in 91, that was entered in the International Wine and Spirit competition. And it won out of 8.5 wines, the best wine in the world.
Wat fantasties was dat vir die eerste keer is daar internasionaal kennis geneem van die cultivar pinotage. En dit was die begin van 'n groot pinotage verhaal.
And the guy said, this is the red gold. This is a trump card of South Africa. And I knew, I was so up for it that I knew we on the right track. I always say, if you can make the best wine you want, or the best pinotage you want, but if you don't tell people about it, and you don't take it to the public, then you can't make wine. Or you can't sell it. I mean, you can make wine, but if it stands on the shelves and it doesn't sell, then there's no point in it. And then I started out of my office, very small office I had. I started the Pinotage Association.
I am Belinda Jacobs. I was born in Johannesburg, current marketing manager at the Pinotage Association. And they taught me about the heritage. They taught me about pinotage, and that resonated with me. It was something that I was so proud to be a part of, and I actually wanted more of it, not only to taste, but also to be a part of this journey that they were on in introducing a proudly South African varietal.
We were built on 3 pillars. One is experimentation that universities does and at the colleges, but also practical experimentations that farmers have done, dissemination of knowledge. We would spread the word to all the guys that they can know if we make a good pinotage, how must you make it that they can only get to higher or better vineyards, better quality wines, and lastly, marketing.
This year, the story of the Pinotage gets told for 2025, where this association stands at the verge of turning 100 years. Give yourselves a round of applause.
With Pinotage and the Pinotage Association, the first thing is to look at what we have achieved over the years. An enormous growth in quality of our grapes and wines. Where Pinotage was born, I mean, a lot of things started in Stellenbosch. As far as Pinotage is concerned, I think some of the best Pinotages, if you have a look at the top 10 that we award every year, at least 60-70% comes from Stellenbosch. And luckily now there's some of the other areas also coming in as hard as possible, but it's Stellenbosch still always 50% of it comes from Stellenbosch. I think one of our aims as the Pinotage Association is to do much more in the vineyards. You know, we've got competitions for winemakers, and winemakers are the stars and everything. But actually, if you know the vineyard, they always say a good wine comes from a very good vineyard. Bernard. Lekker om te zien. Prof Bernard Lategan is very well known in Stellenbosch, in the fraternity of the university, because he was the starting point of STIAS.
STIAS is 'n hoëvlak navorsingsinstelling, soos jy weet,
Ja.
waar ons mense van oor die hele wêreld bymekaar bring om voortpunt innoverende nuwe navorsing op allerlei terreine te doen. En ons het gedink, wat sou nou pas by wat STIAS is, by die DNA van STIAS.
Ja.
En dadelik het dit opgeval, dit is tog wat Perold gedoen. Perold is die man wat iets heeltemal nuuts gedoen het.
The event at Steers, which is an annual event where they harvest the Pinotage grapes. The Pinotage grapes come from the vineyards that were planted by the Steers group and friends from Perrell's original vineyards.
It's my pleasure to introduce Edward Churmera, who is the director of Steers for quite a number of years.
So it's my pleasure to welcome you all. Harvest Day is a tradition that you find with a lot of wine farms. It's signifying the harvesting of the new crop, and usually happens in, at least within the Western Cape area, happens end of January, February, and it's really a signification of the effort that has gone into looking after the vineyard for a year. And so it's really part of celebrating the vineyard, but also celebrating the relationship that it enjoys with the broader Pinotage growing community.
For me, the crushing of the grapes through stomping is one of the most interesting ones, because I've seen people come together and they get so excited about, just being a part of this winemaking process.
The trumping of the grapes signifies the transition from a grape to juice and to wine, and it's like a rite of passage.
We're trying to do groundbreaking, innovative, state-of-the-art, looking for what is happening next. And we bring researchers from all over the world.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Bald. I'm a PhD student at Stellenbosch University, working at the South African Grape and Wine Research Institute, particularly working on the Pinotage Diversity Project. The wine industry is getting a lot of young people coming in, and it's very exciting to see so many women really taking on quite important roles in the cellar, and with their end goal being becoming winemakers. So I grew up in Johannesburg, and I really missed nature in my life, which is what initially drew me to Stellenbosch. Just having the mountains around and it being very nature-centric, it seemed ideal for me. I enjoy drinking Pinotage because of its fruitiness, and particularly having the context that it is a South African cultivar, and knowing, our soils and our terroir is what really makes this cultivar world famous. So the Pinotage Diversity Project particularly focuses on increasing the diversity of Pinotage. So currently Pinotage only has 3 clones which are available at market, and they don't differ significantly in terms of their viticultural traits as well as their oenological traits or their wine quality. So being able to look for new clones in a population of Pinotage plants which have been irradiated using gamma rays really gives us a unique opportunity to find something new and something different, and something that the industry could really benefit from. So it's actually very exciting to be part of the 100th year of Pinotage, and especially to work on a project like this where we really are highlighting Pinotage and trying to bring out new options for grape growers. Or what I find most interesting about gene editing is the way that we have these opportunities to create better crops and to really improve crops particularly for the countries that really need it in terms of food security, and especially looking towards the future and the way that things are going with climate change. We need to have crops that are more resilient.
The spirit of Perrell is one of curiosity, of constant experimentation. or looking for something new, and not being afraid to cross borders and boundaries, and to take a risk. And that, I think, is the key to develop further where we are and for the rest of the world. So if we lose that spirit and our wonderment of the world, our enchantment and our curiosity, we will get stuck and make no progress. That spirit should continue, and this is what we must do, and that the opportunities here in Africa to do that is enormous.
We can be proud, and we need producers, we need marketers, we need associations, we need South African wine, we need wines of South Africa to elevate and to speak more about what we really have as our own homegrown varietal.
I think about 4 or 5 years ago, 2 professors from Stellenbosch did a study to see if people come to South Africa, for what do they ask at the tasting rooms? And they ask the most for Pinotage. So that just shows people know about Pinotage all over the world. If I start again, I would love to do the same thing again with Pinotage. University was, it's the most lovely times that I had in my life. I mean, it's one of those times, there's niks probleme nie. Everything is just joy. You know, the vibe is all the songs also. We had a song at the rugby club that's M-A-T-I-E, spells Maties. It's a team that always wins a game. A forward or a back, a wing or a half. We like a little joke and we like a little laugh. And I don't know the rest, but I hear it.
Being a Māti to me really means a sense of community and a sense of unity, and having that support system.
To be at Stellenbosch University is magic, and a lot of people ask, what's the magic? And if I have to think about it, it's not only the people, but most probably it's 80% people. Besides the point we played rugby, rugby sport is one of the anchors of Stellenbosch. The other thing, I think it's like a vineyard. It's the place, it's the terroir, it's the trees, it's the mountains around. Stellenbosch grows on you.